And it's time for us to accomplish great things. I mean, as I look out and see this beautiful audience here to pay tribute, not to me, it's not about me, it's about we, of those of us who are assembled here today. Basically, everyone in this room I've had some type of interaction with. And I thank every one of you from the bottom of my heart. My loving family, my sisters who are here, my woman Sonia who puts up with my antics and outbursts. I couldn't forget you, baby.
Wow, I tell you, I cannot begin to even describe in words what this man means to me. I'm gather myself here. You know, I've been fortunate in my life to have met along the way a lot of extraordinary people. People that are unforgettable, people that you will remember forever, whether it's somebody that makes a big impact in the community, or whether it's somebody that's I've met some you know, sports stars and top CEOs in the business world, a few senators along the way, and you know, a lot of people make an impact on you. But nobody, I mean nobody, has ever made an impact on me like this man here. You know, when we were in, you Vietnam vets will know this, when we went to Vietnam, we didn't go over there as a unit. We went over there individually, we rotated in, we spent our time in the bush, and if you weren't wounded or killed, you came back in 13 months. Yeah. Or if you weren't wounded 3 times and survived, you came back in 13 months. But, you know, in that day and time, it was a different scenario out there. There was a different mindset. And we did all that night. Now, during the midst of all this, I get a call from First Platoon Commander Neil Meyer. He says, Skipper, I got to sit down squad. I can't get hold of my LP anymore. And I said, are you crazy? You can't do this. You forget it. You know, you're not doing it. First of all, we can't have that vacancy in the line. Second of all, they're probably already dead. And third, you're going to get a squad wiped out just from the fire that's coming from us. So, you know, I think that's the end of it. And then a little bit later, he calls me back and says, Skipper, I got to send that fire team. It's Frag wants to take his fire team out there. I said, no, you kidding me? Absolutely not. We can't even let one gap in the lines from a fighting hole go vacant. So what happened next is that I get a call from Lieutenant Meyer, Neil Meyer, and says, Frag's gone. I said, what do you mean he's gone? I said, Frag has gone out to bring these guys in. I said, are you crazy? You know, and we couldn't halt. I mean, he was running out right into this area where we're calling in all this artillery, and all the Spooky is up, firing 6,000 rounds a minute. We fired, you know, got this interlocking fire going on. And I said, you know, I mean, I just put my damn radio down and said, you know, that's it, he's dead, he's gone. Because there was no way anybody could survive that. Just no way. Well, you know, I didn't really have much time to talk about it the rest of the night, you know, but the next morning we're out there walking around, and it's unbelievable carnage everywhere in front of us. I'd already seen a lot of action in Vietnam, but I had never seen the carnage that was out there. I would venture to say there's at least 100 dead NVA out there, and that's only counting the ones they hadn't already drug off. And so we're getting organized and checking around and seeing what's going on, how everybody's doing, and Neil comes up to me and said, Frag, he made it. I said, you gotta be kidding me. Well, what happened to the guys? He said he brought them all back. They were all three. The three guys on the LP were all wounded. Frag was wounded. He got shot through the shoulder. He had to engage in some close combat with the NVA on the way out and on the way back. And the three wounded guys were all, along with Frag, were all medevaced in the morning. One of the guys died on the chopper. Two of them made it back, and Frag made it back. And so Neil Meyer and I sat down, and I said, I've already seen a lot of action. I've seen a lot of, well, used to, and I won't say those words. Anyway, I've been around, and I'd never seen anything like this. And so Neil and I sat down, and we wrote on the back of a C-ration box a write-up for the Medal of Honor for Sam that night, and gave it to somebody to take back and take it personally to First Sergeant Robert E. Lee. And Robert E. Lee, First Sergeant Lee, took our C-ration scribbles and did a pretty good job on it, cleaning it up, and sent it on up the chain of command. Now, the reason to me, and I've seen a lot of guys. I've known several people with Navy Crosses. We had several. We had one Medal of Honor winner, posthumously, of course. I often told Sam, I said, "It's lucky. You're good. It's good that you didn't get the Medal of Honor, because I think if they'd have killed you that night, you would have." But there's something and I told you that story, the background of that story, so you could understand what he really did, because, as much as was going on that night, and as much as we were under pressure with all that lead flying around, and we had a lot of casualties that night. Sam chose, in contradiction to a couple of direct orders that I gave him, to go out on his own. He made a decision to go out on his own. The battle wasn't in, we can say all we want to, but we had such overwhelming firepower that the battle, we weren't going to lose that battle. And so it wasn't that we were in jeopardy, his men were in jeopardy, and he left what you would have to say would be the safety of that fighting hole, as much lead that was going around, and put him in a position that I would have bet $1 million that nobody could survive through that. And he chose to do it, and that's why I think that's why I wrote him up for the Medal of Honor. It's one thing to make a snap decision, sacrifice your body, your life, when you don't have even time to think about it, but it's one to make a very cold, calculated, tough decision. I'm not going to let my men stay there. I'm proud to know him. Proud to call him my brother. I think that if Abraham Lincoln was looking down here right now, he'd say, that's the kind of man that was at Cemetery Ridge. FDR would say, that's the kind of men we had storming the beaches of Normandy. And Chesty Puller, wherever you are, he would say, that's my Marine Corps.